Welcome to the Fitness Mindset Podcast. Amanda here, and each week I will be bringing on guests that will help you live your best life. That might sound a little bit cliche, but it's podcasts like this that will offer a diverse range of topics to help you overcome life's setbacks, to help you achieve your fitness, career, and life goals. This podcast has been sponsored by my coaching practice, Divine Physiques Coaching, offering one-on-one, online and small group training out of CS Fitness in Caroline Springs here in Melbourne, and I am now available for corporate speaking, which is something I am incredibly passionate about. Stay tuned until the end of this episode so I can fill you in on an up-and-coming event coming in Victoria. Guys, welcome back to the Fitness Mindset Podcast. This is episode number 28, and I'm here with Miss Joanne. Now, some of you may recognise Joanne from last season's Bride and Prejudice, and they were the first lesbian couple on the show. Is that correct?
Well, actually, we're the second one. So the year before there was Ange and Dylan, but I guess we were the first.
Right. There were
I was the first Lebanese gay couple, I guess, and my partner's Maldives, so I guess that makes us a little bit different.
Yeah, either that or I just completely forgot the other two, and you guys are just that relevant. So
in Amanda's eyes, we are the first. So thank you, Amanda. That's an honour.
That's right. That's it. Now, guys, we've had a bit of a break from the podcast. It's been about 4 months since my last podcast, and the reason for that is for taking time away, filming for Married at First Sight, and now just getting back into the swing of things. So obviously Joe and I have both been on reality TV, so we're going to have a bit of a chat about that. Joe, take us back to your journey. Take us back to when filming started, why you applied, what it was like sort of telling your families you were going on a TV show, how they retaliated, all the rest of it. Take us back.
Yeah. Wow. So we're going back pretty much nearly a year ago. So it was around now where we actually got the actual news that we were made it on Pride and Prejudice. But actually before that, we'll go back to when. Now, initially, we didn't actually apply, and this is the funny. It's a bit of an interesting story, Amanda. So we didn't actually apply for it. However, I received an application from Channel 7. They had an old application on file for me and my ex-partner. And and so one night, me, Jess and I were engaged at the time, and we were having a few drinks at home. It was quite funny. And I'm like, babe, what are we going to do, about our wedding? When are we going to get married? Are we going to get married here, New Zealand? What are we going to do? And then I was like, hold on, I remembered I had this email. And so I went and I read the email out to her, and it was like, oh, I don't know your current situation, but we think you might be good for the show. And I had a look at it, and we were just giggling, and we're like, we've got a genuine story. So we thought we would just apply for it and we'd see where it goes. And then it literally just evolved like that. So the next day we were on the phone, can you send us an application? Sort of spoke to mum and dad, kind of couldn't tell them too much because they needed, just said, look, it could probably help us in our relationship. And the rest of my family were okay. Like I could tell some more of them what was going on. And they thought it was a great opportunity. They thought it was, actually could be quite fun. And so...
so your family were on board with it?
Well, some of my sisters, some of my family definitely weren't on board with it because knowing my parents and their religious beliefs and knowing how the shows can portray, twist your stories, twist your words, weren't too happy, I guess in that respect. But a lot of them thought, well, why not? It's always an experience. It's always an opportunity. And I thought it could be a good way for me and my parents to get professional help together. Maybe it could help them understand me. And I think, before I even went on the show, there was a lot that my parents didn't know about me in terms of my mental health and how I suffered over the years, just with my own self-identity and not really knowing who I was. And a lot of that sort of changed when I did meet Jess. A lot of my problems that I had for years and years, started to disappear. So I started to realize that, a lot of my mental health had to do with my sexuality and probably a lot to do with me hiding myself and without even realizing it.
So as far as the TV showed, like for those that did watch the series last year. Your family was okay with you being with her, but they didn't necessarily accept the marriage. I mean, how long have you been with, oh my God, you got to excuse my, what's your partner's name again?
Jessica.
Jessica. Yeah. She's going to hate me when she watches back on this. I'm so sorry. All right. So you and Jessica have been together for how long?
So now we've been together for 3.5 years. At the time, it was 2.5 years. And yes, my parents, look, it took them a little while to adjust. Yeah. But my father, they've always been, I guess, compared to what other people have gone through.
Yeah.
And considering that they are old, traditional, ethnic parents, I've been really blessed. So they were okay. I mean, it took a while and they did come around quite quickly, but in terms of us getting married, no, definitely not. They just struggled. My father absolutely struggled. I mean, he didn't come to the wedding. And my mum was really torn with coming to the wedding because she loves me and, you know, she loves my father, and she really was stuck in a rock between the both of us. And it's not that I wanted her to choose between me or my father. It was that I just wanted her to choose love.
Yeah.
In the end.
So I missed the actual wedding episode. So I watched pretty much the whole show, and I just kind of got caught up in other stuff, and then I missed all the wedding episodes. So did your mum come to the wedding?
Yeah, Mum came to the wedding.
And how did she take it?
Yeah, look, you know, she said some beautiful words to me when she came up, because I really wasn't by that, you know, by our wedding day, I didn't even want to think whether they were coming or not. And it was pretty hard because when you're filming, that's the whole, you know, the focus of what's, you know, what you're there for is whether they're coming or not. But I actually just wanted to enjoy the wedding day, and she was just, she said some beautiful words. I think at times she kind of struggled. I think, you know, even looking at her, you know, in the footage, she looked like it was still a little bit uncomfortable for her.
For sure.
But she still loves me, and I am her daughter, and it definitely wasn't the way she wanted it. It wasn't how she expected it. I guess like most parents, especially, you know, ethnic parents, you know, they want to watch their daughter, and I'm sure you could relate as well. They want to walk you down the aisle. They want you to marry a man. They want you to have kids. And that's their fairy tale. That's the story that they've created in their head of what they want. So it's really, you know, it's hard for them when you know, these things don't turn out the way that they want it to be.
With your parents are, I think they're a bit older than my folks. My parents are still in their 50s. So how old are your parents?
Oh, wow.
Wow,
your parents are still so young.
And I've got an older sister as well. So they had kids very young.
Well, look, my mum's 65. She'll be 66 next week, Queen Lodi. And Papa Smurf, he is 75. So they are a little bit older.
Yeah, bit of an age gap, but I think for that generation, that's pretty normal. So that sort of 9, 10 kind of age gap.
And see, my parents had an arranged marriage as well. So my mum didn't get to pick, you know, she didn't get to fall in love and pick up her husband. It, you know, it pretty much got, you know, arranged for her. Yeah,
right. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm a little bit different in the sense that my parents were always fairly accepting of my sexuality. I'm not going to lie, there were moments where over the years, especially through my sort of teens and 20s, where I felt like, I just didn't feel like I was fully, I guess, making them proud with my, it's not even a decision. It was just, I had to accept who I was and then hoped that they did as well. And they did. I mean, they took it on board, and they never made my partners feel inferior or anything like that, but they weren't happy about me going on the show at all, you know, so that was hard. And
can I ask you a question? How are things with your parents?
Well, look, I'm not talking to my dad or my siblings at the moment. An incident happened in December, which I won't discuss on camera. And it's just unfortunate, but I think looking over kind of the relationships overall, it's probably better that it's this way, to be honest, because I mean, look, and I kind of said this on TV as well at the reunion for filming. I said, you know, people are not necessarily bad people, but they're not always good for your life.
Yes, very true.
You know, because we don't get to choose our family, we have a choice to walk away from them if we feel we really need to, because, you know, we don't owe them any. I mean, in my opinion, I don't owe anyone a damn thing, especially if I wasn't handed anything on a silver platter. I just think, you know, I love everyone enough to walk away if the relationship itself is too toxic. And that's basically what it comes down to. So, so that's it. So, I mean, I'm probably in the best place I've ever been. The show was a huge learning curve for me. And I think my relationship with Tash on the show was very symbolic to my relationship with my family. And it was really just making a final, I guess, cutting of the cord of relationships that just don't serve anymore, you know? So
and being truthful to yourself, I guess that's so important, because we spend so much time trying to please everyone else. And that's what I did, is I pleased everyone else. And I think the reason why my parents took it really hard is that before I did meet Jess, I was in a relationship with a guy for 5 years. So I never displayed any signs of, you know, am I gay or do I like girls? I kind of hid that side. I hid that part of me for a really, really long time. And even for a long time, I thought it was more of a fantasy, you know, I like porn, I like watching girl on girl. And I didn't really think it was more than that. And so, but when I was in my relationship for 5 years with my ex, and I'm still suffering, you know, I suffer with an eating disorder, with bulimia for a really long time. And so when I'm lapsing again and again, even through my relationship, it made me really, really question, like, what the hell is going on? I remember reading an article when I was younger that a girl who suffered with bulimia, you know, met her partner, fell in love, and her eating, you know, and she was, you know, and that helped her recover, and that didn't happen for me. So it really made me question, is this relationship for me? Why am I still harming myself if, you know, if I'm happy? And I knew I wasn't, but it was a real fine line for me, and it took a really, really, really long time. And it wasn't until I was 35 when I met Jess.
So had you been with any other females prior?
Look, I you know, I've been with other women. I never dated any women. I hooked up, I'd had fun, but I'd never been in a relationship with a girl. But, I got to that point where I actually started to question, and I got really curious, and I wondered what it would be like to date a girl, you know? And when I did break up with my ex, that's kind of what it was. I just said, I'm going to have fun and see where it goes. I never actually thought I would fall in love with a girl and be where I am today. That thought never crossed my mind at all.
Yeah. Okay. So a bit of a late bloomer in the relationship sense, but you kind of knew. How old were you, do you think, when you started to experiment with girls?
I was 24 when I first kissed a girl.
Yeah. Had you had any attractions kind of growing up as a kid or as a teenager, anything like that?
No, I didn't. I really, you know, I had a lot of crushes on boys. The thought as a child or even throughout my teenage years, it never crossed my mind, because there was always that, especially when you grow up in a Catholic household, you know, it was, if you are gay, you're going to go to hell. So I think that really sort of stuck in my mind, and it never really, the idea of dating women never actually occurred. And I had plenty of crushes on plenty of boys. And then when I would kiss the boys, I was just so over them. I was like, ugh, find the next crush. And I was definitely a very, very, very late bloomer. Very late bloomer.
And it happens. Like, that's the thing. It does happen to some people. They have these epiphanies in their 20s, 30s, even 40s. And they're like, well, this is it for me, you know. And that's okay too. I don't think... you know, like, being gay for the most part is not a choice. But then for some, it's like, well, now I'm just kind of just really acknowledging it. And then it takes something like having a mental health issue or realizing that you're a little bit lost within yourself to then going, well, this is why I'm so lost, because I'm not acknowledging what's sitting in the pit of my soul, which is I'm not attracted to the opposite sex. So social conditioning.
I was attracted to the opposite sex, but then I would get over them quite quickly.
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of confusion, I just thought that, oh, he's not the right one. He's not the right one. And then I got stuck with one for 5 years. And that was, after that 5 years, I was just done. And I thought, I never want to see a penis ever again. And I gave myself permission. To explore. I gave myself permission to discover myself. I just gave myself permission to have fun, and thought, I am no longer going to put anyone else first, because for 35 years, I always put other people's feelings first. I always worried about what everyone else thought. And I just had to, I just knew for my own soul that I needed to just listen to myself and see wherever that's going to take me.
Yeah, that's good. And that's so important for others to do as well, is to, like, if you've been so selfless for so many years, that it's finding that real happy medium and that balance of being of service to others, but putting your primary needs first, because you're really not as useful to others until you are fully functioning at an optimal level for yourself, and then being able to be the best version for others without getting attached to the outcome of whatever they do. What they do has nothing to do with you, but if you can guide others and then remove yourself from that situation, I think you're a better coach for it.
Yeah, definitely.
So you and Jess, how did you and Jess meet?
So we actually met on Tinder. We swiped right. We fell into each other's radar, and actually her friend played Cupid for us that night, was playing on her phone, and then we matched, and she was like, "Oh, who's this little hottie?" And we just started talking. We got along really well. We were up for, all night chatting. I was like, man, I got to go to bed. I got to go to gym in the morning. That's that's when I was gymming, and I don't really gym as much these days.
Yeah.
But it just sort of happened so quickly, and we kind of met within the first week.
Did you know, like, as soon as you met her, did you like have those feelings straight away?
Yeah, straight away. It literally was, when they say love at first sight, it really was. It was something at first sight. It definitely, there was attraction. I just had fun. I really liked her. I was like, I just wanted to see more of her.
Yeah.
And we literally, she'd go to work, come home. And we would just spend every day together. And I think it was like, really, the rest is history. We kind of met, we fell in love. We were just so attracted to each other, wanted to spend every moment together.
That's awesome.
And there was no doubts from get-go.
And you just know, straight away, Yeah. And that's why I guess trying to watch couples on Married at First Sight at the moment, waiting the full 12 weeks to have any sort of feeling or intimacy. It's like, mate, if you're not doing it at week 11, it's not going to happen, and that's where I guess the integrity of the people that are on the show, where they're like, you're just not being honest.
Question it. And you know what, being a person that struggled for 5 years in a relationship where I questioned my feelings constantly, and having those self-doubts. And when I speak to people about, when they're in a similar situation, I'm just like, you just listen to your soul. You have the answers. They know it's not right. It's not right. But there's that little voice in your head that's like, oh no, maybe we can make it work. They're a really nice person. And then you have a self-doubt, and it's really, it's just when you're just really not listening to the little niches and the little voices in your head, the real voices that are the gut feeling. You have that gut feeling. You can't ignore the gut feeling.
Well, to caveat that, and I'm totally on board with you, is when I run my Q&As on Instagram, because they're so bloody entertaining.
Yes.
They're great. And, and everyone loves them because, there's no, they're not scripted. I don't really go in with a plan, have a laugh with it. But, people will privately DM me, or they'll ask the question and then I'll address it on the story. But my advice is one line. I don't go into depths because I can see past the bullshit and go, your boyfriend's this, or you're this. This is all you need to do. And all they need is that, to be told that confirmation, because they know it's already there. They just want to hear, you know what, you're kidding yourself, like you need to leave, or, and you know, you got to be careful too with giving out advice to people you don't know. But it's like, you know what? If I were you, this is what I would do.
I would do.
But that's up to you, you know. And
Yeah.
but it's like that trusting that intuition that a lot of people ignore. You know, they second guess themselves constantly because they're constantly trying to keep others happy, but they're sacrificing their own happiness because they're doubting that. And most people are living unhappily because they're just not living with 100% honesty, man. It kills me how many people
And
are
you know
like
what
that.
it is? And I think what it is that we've been so conditioned to think a certain way, act a certain way. You know, we come from a schooling system where we're told what to do. We're told when we can take breaks. We're told, you know, we have our allocated times and this and that. So unfortunately, a lot of people are still in that mindset where they need to be told what to do.
Yeah.
You know, they're so afraid to make decisions for themselves. And look, I'm not going to lie, at times I've been one of those persons where, you know, I still am quite indecisive. I'm still at times going, okay, am I going to make the right decision? Am I going to make the wrong decision? And at times just trying to make a decision is what holds me back from making the next decision in life.
Yeah.
And it's like, there is no right or wrong. There's just lessons. It's just growth. It's just, you know, eventually you're going to, you know, find out whether it was, you know, good or bad. And it doesn't mean it was right or wrong. It's that it's the only way you're actually going to learn and going to grow.
So what did you learn about being on the show, about yourself as a couple? Are you happy with the edit as well? And how did you find the whole environment of filming and being around the other couples?
Yeah, look, so I guess what I learned about myself is that I'm always putting people first. And even, you know, at the beginning of filming, I was really respectful of my parents, and I never wanted to go in there and argue with them. And that wasn't, you know, with all the other couples, 2 minutes in and they're out, they already had an argument, they've walked away. I didn't want that. I didn't want to argue with my parents, but it got to the point where if we're not yelling at each other, you know, because we're wogs, man, we got to yell at each other. If we're not yelling at each other, we ain't getting our point across.
100%.
And so it took me a really, really long time to almost find my voice. It was like I was not trying to force them to understand. So it took me a really long time to actually, you know, put myself first and, I guess, be me really. But I guess in terms of the, you know, being with the other couples and the filming side of things, I'm not going to lie, I absolutely loved it. I loved living in the house. We'd all live together in the big house. I call it the retreat.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that because I've lived in, you know, I've done a lot of traveling. I've lived in hostels, and I've lived in big share houses. So I actually really, really enjoyed it. But
was there any couples that you didn't get along with?
Not necessarily. I mean, we got along really well. Obviously, with Danny and Denton, we ended up being bridesmaids for Danny and walking her down the aisle.
Yep.
I mean, we got along well with most of them. And look, but there were times when we had arguments. You know, Danny and Tori, they butted heads quite a bit.
Which one was Tori?
Tori was. Her mother was Marianne.
Oh, was she the blonde girl that clashed with her mum a lot? Was that her? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I felt really for Tori because she didn't have a good relationship with her mum, and she still doesn't.
Do you still keep in touch with her?
Yeah, I still keep in touch with Tori and Danny and Millie. I honestly don't really speak to Cody and Nathan at all.
Yeah, fair enough.
We kind of had a bit of a fallout just around when sadly when Micah passed away. I won't go into it. Yeah. I just saw a different side that I was just like, no, can't be. I'm done. You know, I'm you know, a lot older than the guys, and I just saw immature behaviour, and I was just like, no, can't deal with it.
Yeah. So Micah was one of the other contestants, and he shared a child with, what was his partner's name?
With Millie,
yeah. So he was the guy from America or Canada, wasn't he? Yeah, and he sadly passed away. Was it not long after filming?
Yeah, he passed away in December. So we finished filming in May. 7 months. 7 months. Yeah.
Did they tie the knot in the end?
No, they didn't. They didn't get married. Yeah. They didn't get married in the end.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. All right, cool. So, I mean, did you kind of learn a lot about yourself after filming?
Yeah. Look, after filming, it was really hard. I think I was just really hurt. It took me 6, 7 months to speak to my parents again.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, I was just really, was really hurt because, a lot of things were said throughout filming. And
Mm,
look, I gave my parents permission to really be open and honest and, say what they felt and they did. And I guess that really hurt. So,
mm,
I
yeah,
think I realized obviously, made the right decision. I'm happy where I'm at. And not everyone is going to support me. Not everyone is going
no,
to agree. And that's okay. Um, we can't expect everyone to, but, to support us as long as we're happy in the end of the day, and I think
yeah,
that was a big thing for me. I've just given people time. I
mm,
realize that I am very patient and I
mm,
am very understanding. And sometimes, I can be a little bit selfish, but I think it's because I really, truly just love with an open heart, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I don't like to fight with people. I don't like to have arguments. And
yeah.
uh, when that's happening around me, it doesn't, makes me feel really uncomfortable. I don't feel like I am myself. I've always been a people pleaser.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And would you say your relationship is weaker, stronger, or the same with your parents now that you guys are chatting or talking again?
Yeah, look, everything is definitely a lot more stronger now.
Mm,
From not speaking for 6, 7 months to being where we are now,
yeah,
it's definitely much better. And I've always had that mindset, Amanda. Life is so short, to have grudges, and to hold feelings and emotions at times, and just to be angry. You've just got to find peace in a lot of these situations, more so for yourself, not for anyone else, but for
yeah,
your own self and for your own soul. And so if you can find, just bring love into the things that you do and the decisions that you make, you just gotta try and find peace and love and move on.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you there. So, okay, so tell everyone what you actually do for work and any programs that you might have coming up, what you've done sort of recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So look, I guess what I'm doing now is I've actually throughout the show we had thousands of people reach out to us and sharing all their stories, and what I felt was what was missing is that everyone's really craving the acceptance and love from everyone else. And it made me realize is that when we find love within ourselves and acceptance within ourselves, everything that we are looking for in the outside we need to find within. And I felt love is the one thing that we all lack. We want love from everyone. And I just felt really called to really use a lot of, my skills and my experience. And, I've been in the personal development space for a really long time. So I put together an online self-love course, which I've been coaching. So I run a really beautiful, sacred program where I get to really work with people in a group environment. It's really safe, and I just create a really safe space for people to come, and I teach them tools and techniques to really help them have a healthy mindset, to help them have a healthy relationship with themselves, to find peace within themselves, to really be aware of how they think. What are their actions on the daily? Is it positive? Is it negative?
mm,
How do we think about ourselves? And so I really, really coach people and just loving themselves. And it sounds so cliche,
yeah,
um, but I guess every course that I've done and the results that I've seen, I realize that what I'm teaching is just so beautiful and it's so powerful. And one of the girls that's done my course, before she did my course, she was on anti-anxiety and antidepressants for 8 years.
yeah,
And she did the course back in January, and she's still to this day has not gone back on her antidepressants. And so, not that everyone would have those kind of results, but that to me was just really, really beautiful and
it's
really powerful.
incredible. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
it
big thing. It's
really,
massive.
it's huge. And so, and that's what I've been doing. It's like I just know I have a really beautiful connection with people, and I can really understand them, but also help them understand themselves. In a place when, especially when they're fighting for acceptance or just fighting with uncertainty. And the funny thing, Amanda, in my first course, I realized that by the end of the week, majority of those women had come out. They never really said or realized or were so afraid to actually accept who they were. And by the, fifth day, they were pretty much all coming out.
Yeah. So how does this course work? Because that's pretty powerful. So say someone wanted to register. Do you do like Skype sessions, face-to-face sessions? How does it work? What's your system? What's your process?
Yeah, so I run everything from a private Facebook group, and I've got a group. So connect with me on Facebook or Instagram. It's through the Jojo and Jess page, and I've got a link there. I do it all through Eventbrite. So, and then once they've signed up, I give them the welcome pack. I add them into the group. And then we kicks off on a Monday. I kind of welcome in everyone on a Sunday. So we do a welcome call, and that way we kind of get to know each other. And then every night I was doing welcome calls. So I do little daily updates, just check in on everyone, because there's tools and techniques that I'm teaching about just really tapping into our gut and intuition, like really listening to ourselves when we're making decisions. Does it feel right? So I guide them through that. But yeah, it's all done in a private Facebook group, babe. It's really safe. It's really sacred. And as time evolves, I really, I'm looking at getting a proper educational platform set up, but I really want to keep it small and intimate, because I really believe that community environment is what we're really missing. And, a lot of my girls still all talk to each other. They're all friends with one another.
That's awesome.
And so we're just kind of missing that human connection, that just like communication, talking to one another, just listening to each other, but also listening to ourselves.
So do they get given like a manual that they get to keep, and they can refer back to the content if need be? And do they get like pre-recorded modules, or is it all live discussion?
Yeah, so every day I release new content. So this is your tools, these are your techniques for the day. I release it the night before so that they can read over it and prepare themselves. Okay, this is what I've got to do today, or tomorrow. And then, gives them an opportunity before they go to bed, or even throughout the day, and I check in, how is everyone going? So they've got the material that they can keep with them. I've done a few recorded videos, but at the moment it's just really, I've just, wanted to keep it, simple, really support people on this journey. I've kept it affordable, and I still have the groups going at the moment, so where people can still reach out to each other, support one another. It's really cool. It's really beautiful.
Awesome. So what we'll do is we'll link your socials below in the description if people want to reach out to you. And in terms of intake, are you just intaking people? Do you have intake dates, or they can just join whenever they want?
Yeah, so look, my next course kicks off March 30th, so we've got a week and a bit to go. I'm going to offer everyone that tunes in and joins from this, like if anyone that listens from this podcast, a little discount. So I'll put a discount code together, and they can get 20% off. And I try and keep the groups from about 10 to 15. If I get that many at the moment, I've had 10, I've had 5, and just keep it small and intimate.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, that sounds really good. I think we're pretty much good. Like, I think we're done. But is there anything you want to sort of say or leave us with?
No. Look, I think I just want to tell everyone just to be kind to yourself and just love yourself. Stop trying to please everyone else. And, if you're struggling to come out, or you're struggling because people aren't accepting you, I think, just spend some time within yourself and to see whether or not, you've accepted yourself by now. So if you're really looking for some support and some love and some guidance, come and join me on my next course. It really is a beautiful week. And it's actually fun. I thought, let's have fun while we love ourselves, and it doesn't have to be all, doom and gloomy. Like, we can actually have fun loving ourselves. Also, I want to thank you for having me, Amanda. It's been so nice to connect with you. I love following you on the gram. You're raw, you're real, you're authentic. You're like a no bullshit policy, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
It's so, thank you so much. It's like,
I don't know. Sometimes I think, oh, is that going to go down well? And like really, like for some of the things that people ask, I just come back with just as much of a crude answer. And the response is amazing. The response is, you know, obviously my following, it appeals to people that are that way inclined. So it's great. So I continue to just be that crude, no bullshit kind of person because it works. You know, it doesn't work for everyone. But if not, you know where the unfollow button is. So I'm not about being liked by everyone. So
yeah, and what I've found, sorry, you know, and we'll wrap up, is even with a lot of people that follow us, you know, I think a lot of people need to just really, well, how do you say this in a nice way? Because I feel like everyone's, you know, we've got to get out of that victim mindset. You know, poor me, cry me a fucking river.
Oh, no, there it is.
What?
Swear word. Boom. Love it.
Oh shit! Sorry, I swore.
No. It's, you say whatever you want on this podcast. That's fine. Yeah, like I said, if people don't like it, they know where the unsubscribe button is. That's fine. So no worries. Yeah. It's all about being relatable. And I think everyone swears, and you're kidding yourself if you don't. It's not like we've sworn the whole podcast, yeah? So
I tried so hard.
All right, cool. Well, before we sort of take off, I just want to let you guys know. So obviously we'll plug all the information for JoJo's course down below with a 20% discount code, which she will generate. I'm sure to be Amanda's sexy 20% off. Use that code. Not
done.
But also I'm in the works of planning our first ever retreat. I've got a team of 4, which I'm working with at the moment, and that's coming this September. So stay tuned for that as well. There'll be a bit of planning for that tomorrow, but I'm sure myself and our lovely JoJo will be doing some collaboration work in the near future as well. And that's it. So if you've taken any value out of this podcast, guys, I really appreciate hit the subscribe button, give us a like, love, share your feedback below. And more importantly, share this information with other people, because if you feel that there's someone out there that needs to hear it, this information is better shared. So on that note, thank you so much again, my WOG sister.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been so much fun.
Until next time.
Love you, girl.
Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. If you liked the content, please make sure you support the show by giving a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications so you are the first to know when a new show is released. This coming September, myself, Dino Hira from last season's Married at First Sight, Tabitha and Eleanor will be launching our first ever complete reset retreat here in Victoria, so please stay tuned for more developments on that as the months roll by. If you are interested in having me present a speaking presentation in your enterprise, sporting club or event, please send me an email. Link is below in the description. Thanks once again. You've been amazing to last this long, and join me again on the next episode.